Well, hi everyone. I'm John Retlin with a retro review of WCW Thunder from July 5th, 2000. Go home show for Bash at the Beach 2000. Let's just get right on into this. This show was so unnecessary, so fucking terrible. Just blah. It was God. If I didn't write notes, I would forget everything that happened on this show. That's how little Thunder meant. Jarrett and Miller yell at each other backstage, and then Heenan's on commentary. We get a lot of canned reactions. The reactions were even placed to where the crowd was reacting to nothing. It was absolutely hilarious. The canned crowd noise. It was worse than in the greatest wrestling match ever. It was worse than that. It actually was. It was so fucking rotten. WCW was dead at this point. Jarrett, a.k.a. the Chosen Joke, the Chosen Moron, why the fuck was he ever made a main eventer? Talks about ending Hulk Hogan's run and everything. Bash at the Beach 2000. I am not looking forward to reviewing that. I'm looking forward to ranting about it, but not reviewing it. Here's Miller, and he wants to put on a karate demonstration to kill the ratings even more. And then says there will be a tag team match, and it's Bagwell and Booker versus Shane Douglas and Canyon. Whoever gets the fall, whoever makes the pin, faces Jeff Jarrett in the main event for the WCW tag team, or WCW title. You know what, they might as well throw the tag team championships in there for what they fucking meant. Because we get to Palumbo and Stasiak on tanning beds, and then Woody, the producer, the one guy that got harassed by them like they were college pranksters and got his head shaved by David Flair when they stooged him off, he ties the tanning beds, down and everything, and so they can't lift the lids and everything. Oh no, if you can't lift the lid, then women will get upset and wait. That's a bathroom joke. Also, this was like Final Destination 3, except not nearly as funny, and if you get the tanning bed reference, I love you guys. That movie wasn't that good, but it had a couple really good death scenes. That and the weightlifting thing. Moving on. So, Ray versus Disco. Tigress is also there. Versus Lance versus Kidman. Four corners match. Why was Disco? Why was he there? I keep asking this question because there was no other reason other than him being a fucking joke in the ring. He tapped out to Lance Storm's half crab. Lance Storm deserved a fucking bonus for having to work with Disco. Everybody deserved a goddamn bonus for having to put up with that piece of shit. And yes, he is a piece of shit. He's a goddamn moron. And I mean, he's a big Russo fan, so big fucking shock that he's that much of an idiot. So, Buff and Booker talk about the main event. They fist bump at the end, fisting each other on camera. He really is Buff Daddy, hitting the bookend. Moving on from that. So, tanning bed shenanigans were the guy that gets Sean and Palumbo out of there. Says, oh yeah, Woody did it. Woody was the one that did it. Just stooged them off automatically, and they're covered in red and everything, even though it's obvious it was just a spray, which is good. I mean, you wouldn't want somebody with a sunburn that bad. That could lead to some bad things. Ernest Miller versus the Young Dragons in the karate demonstration. Who is this for? Why did the ratings not go in the goddamn toilet? Or maybe they did. I never broke down the ratings, but they should have. Why were they trying to make Ernest Miller a babyface? What the fuck was going on? He was bad as a face or a heel. And then he stops the demonstration. Oh, wait, we had some fun and everything, and I'll pay you guys a little bit later. And then Palumbo and Stasiak want to face Woody in a match. You get a partner and come and face us in the ring. Anybody. You can get anybody. And Woody says, I got somebody. I mean, great. Good. Should have just put Woody Harrelson in there. It might have been a whole lot more fun. Miller then pays the Young Dragons out of an envelope. Going back to the territory days. Vito versus the Demon, hardcore title match. Starts in the back, goes to the ring. We get some weapons. We get Vampiro showing up and taking forever to get to the goddamn ring. He's got a shovel, because graveyard match. Hits the Demon with the shovel. Vito pins 1, 2, 3. Whew. I am not looking forward to reviewing Bash at the Beach 2000, guys. But you know what? I need to do content. This is a great outlet for my anxiety and my depression. But fucking hell, this product is so shitty. This is despite the talents actually being pretty good. And then Mike Awesome cuts promo about Scott Steiner being 2-0 against him, despite the fact that he was not in the building when Mike Awesome won the matches. Then we get Sunburn, Stasiak, and Crispy Chuck. Yes, I've decided to put that right there because why not have some fun with it? Versus Woody, should have been Woody Harrelson. And Brian Adams, oh no, the singer. No, actually the wrestler, the member of Chronic. And Woody ends up pinning Stasiak because they do a high tide thing, and just, yeah, that's what it was. The producer got a victory over the former Meat and the current, perfect one, Sean Stasiak, or at least current at this time. Then Vito lays out Terry Funk backstage. We're just traveling the world here with this bullshit. Canyon and Douglas versus Bagwell and Booker. Winner gets a title shot at Jeff Jarrett. The match was not that good because everybody was trying to break up the pins, which makes sense. You'd want to be the one to get a title shot. Bookend pins Canyon, which is probably good that Douglas didn't try to take the bookend because he did a horrible job of that on Nitro previously. But funny thing, he hits Canyon with the bookend. 1, 2, barely after 2, they start playing Booker's theme before the 3 count even hits. The music guy just fucking gave up and says, oh, Booker's gonna win, I'll play his music. You should have waited like 2 seconds. What the fuck? What the fuck was this? Video package about Hogan and Jarrett. Cool, alright, we know that match is gonna not end with any shenanigans at all. Then Crowbar shows up. Daphne is stalking him. And then Mike Awesome puts something in Rick's sunglasses. I mean, I don't know, it's pepper spray or something. Maybe it was, some kind of weird hot pepper. I don't know what the fuck it was. It was some kind of weird spray that affected his eyes. Chavo and Major Guns versus Hoovy and Tigress. Look, I know that a lot of women did not get respected at all in wrestling in 2000 and that glut. Because women's wrestling was not really seen as that, on a mainstream platform as much of anything more than eye candy. And there were a few women that could wrestle, and a lot of them were just models that were thrown out there with no training. So I don't fault Major Guns. She was just doing what she could. Tiger, this is not good. Neither of these women belonged in the ring. They need a lot more training. That's all I'll say, because otherwise it's just them doing the catfight stuff. It doesn't serve anything for the women. Yeah, sure, it's TNA. No, not that team. That, for men and statistically some women, but just good. This was bad. A belt shot, Hoovy wins. It's just so terrible. Rick Steiner is blinded by the light. And, yeah, you won't get anywhere when you get Steiner blind. Terrible rendition of those lyrics. Absolutely terrible. Vampiro Sting package, for the upcoming match between Vampiro and the Demon. Why did they decide to do this? They were skipping ahead on what they were going to do with New Blood Rising and a whole bunch of other things. Duggan's at home, not the Duggars at home, not that piece of shit family. Goddamn morons. Jim Duggan and his wife, I forget his wife's name. She had a glorious mullet, that much I remember. And talks about his health, match with Goldberg, and how he won't let the fans down. Then he joins Team Canada a little bit later, the WCW version of Team Canada. That was a great idea, except it wasn't. So Crowbar then attacks David Flair backstage, and Hancock's chasing afterwards, carrying a lengthy pipe. Miss Hancock holding a length of pipe on camera. Get your minds out of the gutter, folks. I run a clean show. If you believe that, then you are a new viewer. Actually, if you got to this point and you still believe that, you are a new viewer. And you are far more innocent than I could ever hope to have been. Crowbar versus David Flair, impromptu match, and Miss Hancock shows up, and Daphne shows up. They have a bit of a brawl and everything. And the mind benders. So Crowbar gets a victory over David Flair and then traps him in the ropes, holds the pipe against him, and says, you're going to confess your sins, basically. He basically makes him do that. Say, who cut Daphne's hair? I'm sorry, she made me do it. David saying he's blaming Miss Hancock. Typical guy blaming his problems on a woman instead of taking responsibility. Am I right, lads? Am I right? Am I right, ladies? Am I right, anybody? I mean, seriously, it's like I'm waiting for a studio audience reaction. And then I would really like to know who this was also for. Crowbar is a hell of a talent. David Flair should have never been in wrestling, and I think he agrees. And Stacy Keibler would go on to do better things. Daphne, I think, was underappreciated. But this whole love triangle thing was just ridiculous, because Crowbar wanted to prove to Daphne, hey, by the way, this guy's a goddamn piece of shit. And then David shaves the head of the trainer because he's checking on Miss Hancock, and she tricks David into saying, no, he wasn't trying to do it. He wasn't checking on me because I was hurt, and then shaves his head. Mike Awesome versus Rick Steiner. He's a blinded Steiner. And a table bump in the corner where Awesome almost looked like he jacked his neck. That looked pretty damn painful. And then he sprays him in the eyes with that liquid. 1, 2, 3. Pins him. Jeff Jarrett versus Booker T for a WCW title. We get shenanigans. Canyon interferes. Miller says, no, there's no outside interference. Restart the match. Referee gets taken down. Charles Robinson, because of course Charles Robinson gets taken down. He took a lot of bumps as a ref. Took a lot of them. And, boy, including that Great American Bash elbow. Ow, was it? Yeah, it was Great American Bash. That looked painful. So, anyway, what happened is Miller puts on the shirt, tries to count it, but Booker just can't get the victory. He gets hit with the guitar, and then Jarrett just leaves. While Booker's awarded the match by DQ and stuff like that. So, okay, he wins, but he doesn't win the championship. And then we go to Bash at the Beach 2000. Fucking hell, I am tired. I will have that review up at some point, folks. Maybe you'll be watching this and I will have already had that review up, by the time, this shows up in your notifications. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.